not to mention Shadowburn. I don't actually know if you know, Jamerson, if he's been in the US for a while.
I'm not sure.
He has to be in the US to be playing here for this match. And we talked about, you know, Shatter playing with 15 ping. Well, what about, you know, the other great Genji player, Shadowburn?
Yeah, I mean, I believe he was playing with like 230 when he was doing a lot of these North American tournaments and also playing at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And that can really take its toll on you. But I'm not too sure actually when he came on in. Right now, it is going to be Selfless starting off on the defensive end. Emong actually going to pick up that Winston, and it looks like it's going to be a largely Selfless composition. Carpe on that 76. Sinatra, of course, picking up the Tracer.
Yeah, I mean, Sinatra, if he's not playing Tracer, maybe Sorry will be in the mix. We've seen, actually, I don't know if we actually, no, we did see during the show match between USA and Canada how strong his Zarya can be, but obviously, that's maybe a little bit of a different situation, depending on how you want to look at it.
No, it's always been strong.
Yeah, I've seen in his tryouts for the World Cup team that his Zarya is insane, and actually teams will invest like nano boosts into him just to build up those Graviton Surge a little bit quicker. But FaZe Clan on the attack, it looks like they're going to be running the Pharah. So we're going to have the Pharah with a Mercy with Raucus, and we're going to have Louis, one of the newest additions to the team, on Genji here.
Yeah, so we got the 2-2-2 composition coming out. FaZe Clan out the gates here. Now, Carpe will be able to apply some pressure onto Raucus and Shadowburn, but it's going to be very difficult with the dive coming in from FaZe.
Or at least they're able to force him out of his position. I mean, Midnight, all the pressure is going to be on him to mitigate this damage, but they've been able to force Carpe out of the high ground spot, which is allowing him, or at least the potential for FaZe Clan to pick him off. He's on a 3rd HP here. He needs to be protected the best he can.
Yeah, Selfless doing a good job of just, you know, making sure they're not out in the open for Shadowburn just to get some free rockets off. He's only at 30% ult, but there it is. Midnight gets the first frag onto Louis, and the second one, Fact Fiction going on down. It looks like Selfless will be able to repel this attack. So, FaZe Clan just gonna limp away. Are they gonna be able to pick up this kill onto the Mercy? No, she gets out right behind that bus. Whew, that was a little close and could have been big. But take a look, Raucus has that resurrection at the ready. So if they want to go ahead and push into this next team fight, use that res early and then continue on that fight, that could be super strong. I don't know, is Selfless going to expect that res to already be out there for them?
Oh, I mean, I would hope they would be able to. I hope Dahak would be able to actually be able to keep this in mind. They're going to pop the sound barrier down, so that actually leads me to believe maybe they don't, because that's something you want to save coming into the actual res. But Raucus gets dropped by Sinatra of all people. The Tracer played on the high ground with him now gone. They don't have the res, and Carpe picks up the kill in a Shadowburn. This should halt FaZe Clan in their tracks.
Yeah, you really do have to be careful playing that Mercy, right? Sure, you can take to the skies, but there's a certain amount of verticality here that we've been seeing Sinatra using. He's been dashing back and forth between both ledges, right, on the left side and on the right-hand side. So that lets him close the distance a little bit onto Raucus and just spam him down. And so we'll see if Raucus makes the adjustments for that.
Having Carpe too on the soldier really helps quite a bit here. And they bought a lot of time for Michael to build up his Transcendence. The question is, do they want to pop it before or afterwards? Won't even have the opportunity to. The attack vibes are going to be coming out of Carpe, looking for some sort of kills from Louis off to the side. It actually hasn't been chipped away at all. So imagine Louis is going to be looking for some sort of avenue to pull off this attack because they know they have the res. They lost out on 2 people. Carpe's on the ground though. That's the problem. The 3-man res is going to come in, but unfortunately Shadowburn gets killed right after the res goes off.
Yeah, you want to res into at least an equalization. Here is the self-destruct, but nothing coming of it quite yet. Dragon Blade does come on out from Louis. He finds 1 kill onto Sinatra. Will he be able to connect onto a second? We see Midnight getting popped out of his mech there, but Louis was taken out by Carpe.
Dahak, he gets a second sound barrier down so far in this game. That's insane. This man's been doing so much healing, or at least has to have been. Carpe picks himself up another kill, most importantly, just not dying. He used a visor in the beginning of this fight, and he's built up to 80%. That just shows how much raw damage this guy has been doing.
Oh man, that pressure being applied by Emong onto that pharmacy combo, that was so impressive to watch. He was just hunting them down, kept them super low. He eventually fell, but that allowed Sinatra to clean both of them up. And yeah, when you res, you gotta make sure that no one else dies behind it. But Louis starts it off with a pick onto Carpe.
Very big kill, actually, considering he almost had his visor yet again. 55 seconds remain for FaZe Clan, but Sinatra takes down Joe Meister. He didn't have sound barrier, but either way, that kill does stop their push. At least slows their push down without that extra speed off of this man. And not to mention the healing, but Raucus has his res again. Gonna use it only on a Joe Meister because they realize we want that extra healing. We want this man advantage.
Yeah, and they do corner Emong there with the Primal Rage. Fact Fiction comes on in, but Carpe, he's got that tactical visor at the ready, tries to hunt him down. They are able to break LOS onto him. Mercy a little caught out in the distance. That's actually Louis there brought down low, but he's going to get healed up now. Carpe, though, just he's got the spotlight treatment coming out. Both Divas using the defense matrix on him, but now in the skies, it is going to be Shadowburn dropping real low. Spree, he's out of his mech. He will get forced back there and finished off by Sinatra. Now FaZe Clan 10 seconds away from not even capping a third of point A.
This is looking really bad for them. They're actually being shoved directly into their base here. Joe Meister dies. Well, he has sound barrier up. Is the person even to contest the point? Yes, there's going to be a person on it. It's going to be, I thought I heard a Tracer, but maybe it's just a Diva. Maybe it's Spree's going to be the man over there. But either way, who it is going to be picked off. Louis goes down. Shadowburn trying to fly back in to maybe force this overtime yet again. He has his barrage ready to use. He's going to pop it off, gets it onto Carpe, but no, Carpe gets the kill onto him. Rockus is going to fall right after the res comes through, which he reses Louis, and the Sound Barrier's finally to come in for Joe Meister, but it's just onto him. Spree's going to fall. Joe Meister's going to die eventually, and that will be that first point hold, not giving up that third.
Yeah, that's a huge win condition for Selfless at that point. And honestly, Iman was doing an amazing job. Consistently on that Winston, he was pressuring the pharmacy combo, and you have to realize that, yeah, if you jump up there, they're generally clumped up. So you're going to get that AoE damage onto both of them, and then Sinatra just peppering them away every single time. We saw there in the end when Rockus tried to come in for that res, he had to panic and use that res early because he was dropping super low and he didn't want to die with it, so he only got one off of it.
That had to be miscommunication a little bit, whether it was him or whether it was Shadowburn wanting to use his barrage right then when he knew Mercy would be trying to use a res. But the man on Selfless we've been talking about has been Carpe. And actually, it's funny. Last night I got a Snapchat from their coach, Legit RC, and he was showing me a picture of something they have right next to his desk. And it's a whiteboard filled out with words in English and their translations in Korean. So they could help, acclimate him to speak in English to be able to communicate with the team. So words like bait, focus, mini, mega, bench, point, boost me, get ready for boost, stuff like that is something that they're trying to help teach him. And I think even maybe learn a little bit of Korean to help assimilate him a little bit into this team. So Selfless really investing, a lot into him as a player. And with what we just saw right there out of him on the first point defense, why not? That man went off.
Yeah, and it really is interesting to see because on teams like Immortal, right? They have 3 Koreans on their rosters so far. So it's been a lot of the slack picked up by the English speakers to learn a bit more Korean.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it actually does make for faster call-outs, faster communication.
Yeah.
But man, at this point, FaZe Clan really up against it, against Selfless here. Selfless just on the verge of taking this first map. Remember, they only need to take 33%.
Is it 33 or 33.1? I actually don't know the answer.
I don't really quite remember.
I think it's 33. I think it's just 33. I don't know. Yeah, like what? A third of the point. Not necessarily difficult to do, but then again, FaZe Clan couldn't pull it off on the attack.
All right, so out the gates are Selfless. They are just going to run a 2-2-2 that we've been seeing often. Now, the interesting thing is, on the defense, FaZe Clan are going for the pharmacy again.
Okay, so they want to use the ability to have Mercy bounce in between both points and be able to have an escape mechanism with the help of Shadowburn to keep him alive. The problem is there's no Genji being run by Carpe. The Soldier's just going to have to take down Fact Fiction. And then Rockus is dead. All right, well, I can't really get hyped up for this one because with 2 men already down, losing 1 healer, it looks as Selfless is going to take this with relative ease.
They even get the mech out from Spree there. Carpe cleaning up Spree, and now it's all Selfless. They haven't lost a single member. It is ticking up, and there's nowhere near them to try and contest that point. So Selfless, easy map 1 victory against FaZe.
So look at how they actually attacked that, right? They got into that tiny room behind the point. And what does that do for that position? Well, you got a Winston shield to mitigate any damage. All the damage has to be funneled in one direction. So you're not only mitigating a lot more with the shield, you're also using the Diva defense matrix to eat a lot more damage. When you have your Soldier Carpe set up like that, he's going to get a lot of free damage off, especially if your Rockus, bouncing from point to point, location to location, because you don't have any ranged healing with an Ana or the Zenyatta. So eventually Rockus will die, just trying to keep his teammates alive.
It also kind of works as like a bottleneck, right? Because they're trying to send all the men in there. They have to just face them off in one direction. That allowed Carpe. He was just kind of standing still. He wasn't even like AD, or AF.
He's like trying to...
AD.
WASD. Oh my gosh.
Have you been playing FPS as long, mate?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I don't look down at my keyboard. I'm sorry.
I wondered what that controller was in your backpack.
I've been outed.
Oh, yeah.
I've been outed.
Hey, Grandmaster with a controller. That's
actually, that's pretty impressive on the old PC. I feel like I've made some enemies just now. But no, but yeah, Diva. Midnight playing that Diva. And we've talked about the importance of defense matrix and utilizing it. It's not always as clear-cut as it was just now. I mean, stand behind your Soldier 76, let him do a bunch of damage in this small choke, and win. And that's what they ended up doing.
One of the things, I feel like FaZe just didn't use the tools that they had, right? Sure, you can play the pharmacy, but they ran into it for 4 minutes, really didn't get much off of it. You do have, of course, the ability to go for Tracer Genji, right? Louis could just go ahead and swap off. He started off on Genji. He could swap off onto Tracer. We've seen him play that before. Shadowburn, of course, go on to Genji, but they didn't even try running that. That was the interesting thing.
To be fair, though, I mean, the Pharah did do its job. It just didn't get any kills. So it dislodged Carpe. It got him off the high immediately. Once they shot off like 1 or 2 rockets in that general direction, Carpe like ran completely around and got like kind of behind the point. And he wasn't in the greatest of positions, but the focus wasn't there for some reason. Like she was Genji Pharah, right? They weren't able to kill him. I don't know why Winston D.Va wasn't able to get on top of him and just eliminate Carpe, but every single time he survived. He died once on defense, and that was it. And that was maybe just a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to honestly rewatch that VOD to figure out maybe what pieces were not in place for FaZe to not even take that first point. But we're going to be going on to Control next, and it's going to be Oasis of all maps. We saw it a few times earlier off stream, but I don't think we've seen it. Maybe we've seen it on stream yesterday.
We saw it once today because we saw the D.Va get hit by the car.
That's right. That's right. It's
hilarious.
all coming. We had to have seen it today because that indeed did happen today. Well, there are definitely going to be more cars. I can't imagine we're going to see such a fun play as that. But from what we've seen out of these two teams, do you think they go ahead and take Louis off that Genji, put Shadowburn on him? Louis can certainly play Tracer. What other things are we expecting out of Selfless and FaZe?
Soldier. Yeah. I'm expecting a Soldier on a couple of these maps. The Pharah can be used on like 1 or 2 of them as well, but like the Soldier, Carpe was just showing how not overpowered, but how powerful a Soldier can be when you can create that distance and create that protection around that one hero. I actually am curious to see if Shadowburn will be playing Genji and pushing Louis over to the Soldier, or they're going to go like Tracer Soldier kind of combo to work for some little chip damage in before they actually engage. But we'll see. I mean, FaZe Clan, they've gotten 2 draws today. Selfless, they're not having actually picked up a single victory. That kind of shows how the games have been going, but considering Selfless just walked all over them on Nimbani, it leads me to believe that maybe Selfless have finally clicked together, or maybe FaZe Clan is just not able to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I do like this pick coming out from FaZe Clan here because of the hero pool that they actually have, being able to run Pharmacy, they can run triple tank, 2-2-2 dive. I do want to see them really flex their hero pool here and try and get Selfless to be a little bit more uncomfortable, but I mean, so far, taking a look at what they are picking up, looks like they're just going to run what they ran on Numbani.
I'm not a fan of the Tracer Pharah, actually. So I really enjoyed doing like when I was playing ranked last season and watching games, seeing Pharah Genji Tracer and then running the solo tank, because if Pharah hits any direct rocket or hits 2 splash rockets down, you're going to get a Genji in who's going to get a reset off that, like a dash, 1 shuriken, dead. But the Tracer doesn't have that reset potential that a Genji does have. It doesn't have the ability to get on high grounds that you kind of maybe need on this point of Oasis. But we'll see. I mean, that's 1 direct rocket that hit Michael, and then Louis just capitalized.
Yeah, they were brought so low. Louis just on the lurk, able to clean them up. Now, ready FaZe Clan off to a much better start here on Oasis. Midnight, a little bit caught out, but he was able to take out Fact Fiction and that mech.
It's a little bit of a misplay, I think, out of Selfless to start things off, and they're still going to commit a couple of people to trying to go in just to maybe stall for time. Actually do have the point contested for them, funny enough. Even though FaZe Clan picked up the initial kills, Selfless was able to get the control in their favor so far, but they haven't been able to get the kills necessarily. Shadowburn towards the high ground, already in position, should be able to rain down damage from above. As Sinatra trying to deal with him. Actually, almost 1 clip in there, and now Rockets might get cut out here, but Sinatra just can't connect the shots.
Yeah, so Carpe will fall down to Louis, but the hack comes on in, trades right on back, and the point still hasn't been taken yet. This has been such a long fight, but now Sinatra is there. He's on that Tracer, picks up his 2nd kill. That's both supports down. There's going to be no sustain for FaZe Clan. They try to back out. Spree's going to be the last one to go down as he got D-Mech there, and after that, Selfless will walk away with the point.
How do you kill the enemy Zen, have a man advantage, and still not take the point? I'm really not sure. There had to have been some really individual plays of brilliance on the side of Selfless to pull that back. They're only running with 1 healer. It was just a hack there who was trying to contest the point for the most part, and it didn't even eventually die. He's out 90% on his ultimate. FaZe Clan maybe just making some slight mistakes, but I still want to see the Genji. I don't want to see the Tracer here.
This is also just very characteristic of how Selfless play, right? They can play a man down or two men down and just delay for as long as they can to get their DPS back out. Injustice comes on out. Shadowburn picks up 2 off of it. That's Carpe and Emong down. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. Self-destruct coming out from Spree here. Actually, it's gonna be Midnight picking up 2 with it as the resurrection does come out from Raucus.
I can hear the comms. Midnight, I got 2! And then Raucus is like, no, you don't. You don't got anything, bro. He gets the res in there. Shadowburn gets the initial, or a couple more kills after the initial barrage that came through. And FaZe Clan will turn things around. But Selfless, they have Trance. They've got Visor. Only up against what? Self-destruct, which is going to be a little bit difficult, but then again, Carpe won't have the opportunity to really use his Visor unless Spree does get desuited. And without a post bump for Sinatra, chance of that happening should be a little bit low.
Yeah, Louis has his, and you can't heal through that. But Sinatra already finding the first kill onto Joe. Carpe coming in with a flank, but he's shooting it largely into the Winston bubble. Has to force out the recall as the self-destruct does come out. But Spree will fall as he was never able to get back into his mech. And now Shadowburn does answer back, but with that, Selfless fight on back, and they're only going to allow FaZe Clan 36% before they flip it back.
Not 50% built up for themselves. It's not just trying to get aggressive, maybe work towards that pulse bomb, because they know they're going to be down a couple of ultimates here. It's going to be tough, but it's definitely possible for them to maintain this point, especially the position that they already do have. And as Shadowburn trying to push in on the point, it's going to be difficult as a Pharah to do that when you have a soldier like Carpe already able to just shoot him out of the sky. As you can see, Carpe just trying to spot out where he's going to be, and smartly enough, you have Midnight there to help protect the backline from these rockets coming through.
Yeah, Sinatra winning the 1v1 against Louis, and it looks like Louis has been struggling in that matchup. Now, Carpe and Sinatra were dropped a little bit low, but they are just going to be able to kite back away. Sinatra dropped down about 1 HP, but he wins that battle against Joe Meister. Here's the self-destruct coming out from Midnight. Nothing that time, but it's all Sinatra in the kill feed as he D-Mech Spree, takes him out, finds a third onto Fact Fiction, and Sinatra has been putting Selfless on his back and jumps off the ledge there.
Carpe with the combo breaker, actually, for Sinatra's kill streak, and Sinatra's like, I still wanted that last kill, so I'm gonna kill myself. It still counts. But he'll get back to the point quick enough. They have a lot of ultimates to use too. Shadowburn's gonna try to use his barrage here, but Raucus, that's something you have to watch. He's not in line of sight at all. He didn't get the sound bearer because he's looking for the res.
Yeah, he goes for it, but it was inside. He only picks up Carpe as Michael 3D will clean him up. Emong with that Primal Rage finds the kill onto Joe Meister now. Pulse Bomb came out, didn't quite connect, but Raucus comes in, 2-man res, and this should put them in the advantage here. Transcendence does come out on the side of Selfless though, and with Sinatra once again getting the D-Mech onto Spree, cleans him up, and Sinatra's just been a one-man army.
Problem is that res that came through to Raucus didn't catch Joe Meister, so they had no healing. They had nothing to stop Michael's Transcendence either, which allowed Selfless to just snowball that fight and eventually take it, even though they did lose 1 or 2 people in the mix of that. Selfless coming up strong here. FaZe Clan nice little adaptations here or there, but Sinatra's just proven to be a beast that no one should mess with.
And so while the opening volley coming out from FaZe Clan with that Pharah did prove successful, I mean, you had mentioned they just weren't able to follow up and gave up the first point. How do you feel about Shadowburn and Raucus with that pharmacy?
I don't know, to be honest. Excuse me. I think Midnight has been putting out work to actually mitigate a lot of the damage that he can do. I just feel like giving... I mean, Shadowburn's a good Pharah, but he's such a bigger playmaker when he's on, like, a Genji. And it's a little bit, for me, a shame to see him not playing that one. Obviously, Louis can do it too, but I want to see him on more of a playmaking hero, and Pharah can be really hit or miss sometimes.
So, you got your wish. He's actually going on over to the
Carpe.
Tracer. Louis swapping on over for Carpe. He's on this Widowmaker.
He's looking for the Pharah. He's specifically looking for it. He's not going to have the opportunity to shoot it because we're not going to see Shadowburn playing it. I did see Carpe streaming with Calvin the other night, and his Widowmaker was a little bit left to be desired, but then again, Solicu's a lot different than comp play.
Also,
and I was waiting for him to prove me wrong right there, so look like a major idiot, but he didn't hit that shot to Louis.
Yeah, he's still acclimating, you know, that was his first few days here in North America. Now the point has unlocked, but it is being contested by both sides right now. Neither really trying to break the line of scrimmage here. A little peekaboo action coming out from the Selfless side, and now they decide to pull the trigger. They jump right on top. He was booped away, but Louis is the first one to go down. Sinatra and Carpe coming in. Joe Meister falls. That's the man advantage for the side of Selfless.
I'm not sure why FaZe Clan actually held that line of scrimmage, because when you have a Widow on the enemy team, and you have a Tracer of Sinatra's caliber, you're leaving yourself open to be either hit by the Widowmaker or flanked by the Tracer.
And
you
both
had to make your push.
And both happened there, Jason, and they're going to force them back into their spawn. It's going to be Selfless once again, taking the point first up against FaZe Clan. Now Pulse Bomb comes out and it sticks onto Joe Meister. Sinatra able to get that in pure Sinatra fashion too.
You still hear him saying, hiya. They're just emoting away, but they're holding the back. Obviously, FaZe Clan doesn't want to push into this when they know that Carpe has the info side up. So instead of feeding over ult percent or feeding over some early kills, they're just going to back off, wait for that to wear off, and push back in again. I'm surprised though Carpe's not in a different position though, a little bit on the high ground so we can get more information. So if they do dive onto him, he should have had his hook reset already up.
I guess he just didn't want to risk it or just play some awkward angles that people aren't used to. He does go for the grapple, jumps away, and kites from that Winston to try to jump right on top of him, gets a few tags onto him, but now he's getting focused down. He's going to survive for now as the sound barrier came out. It wasn't enough to keep Sinatra alive, though. Midnight forces out the mech. Carpe goes for another grapple shot, but he hasn't been able to connect with it quite yet. He's still getting pestered down by Shadowburn, but Shadowburn hasn't been able to kill him, which is the big thing.
He's been stalling for time, and that's allowing like Sinatra maybe get a good position to pick up some kills, but they've already lost out on 2. Louis getting a third on the Midnight will eventually turn the point over here for FaZe Clan. And watching Carpe play the Widow right there just really hurt my arm because he plays at a super low sensitivity. He plays with his entire mouse pad, his entire arm, and to be able to have to turn around like that so often, it's got to be tiring.
So Selfless, they were able to get 73% on the board. Delayed it out a good amount. Carpe still
Not
on that
peek that
Widowmaker. Yeah, definitely don't want to peek that. You don't want to risk anything at this point if you're FaZe Clan.
No, but Spree's actually still desuited. He's only at 90%. He's actually very low in HP. If somehow Sinatra can get this kill, it would be huge. But Sinatra goes down to Fact Fiction. They could have kept that desuit. It would have had them at advantage, and there would have been no Diva to mitigate the shots that Carpe's trying to go for. So he's just going to juke them out here, try to get some distance. Oh, the desuit almost back in again for Spree. That's going to be finally Midnight able to come around to help him out, and Shadowbird's gone down.
Yeah, that was the self-destruct coming out from Spree there, as the Transcendence is going to get popped by Selfless now. They are pushing on to the point, 35% for FaZe Clan, but they just haven't found a target quite yet. Michael 3D has to be careful. He's got the Orb of Discord onto the Winston. Fact Fiction falls.
You might wonder if that trance was maybe a little bit too early, a little bit preemptive, maybe save it for an ultimate out of Louis, but you have to keep in mind on this point of Oasis, there's so much terrain, so many things to hide behind, so many walls, that you don't necessarily need that Transcendence to out-heal the damage. You can just avoid him for the most part, especially when you have Midnight playing the Diva here. Oh, Joe Meister gonna get taken out before he even has a chance to get back to the point. And with that kill, that's gonna delay him to about 98% before he respawns and gets back with the team.
Yeah, so Carpe with a pretty big pick off there, but it's 94%, so they don't have him there. Sinatra comes in, and now it looks like Selfless might have just secured the second point here on Oasis. Even Spree coming in, he got DMAC'd real early on. Sinatra is the primary person on the kill feed for the side of Selfless. I want to say he was a 75% contributor to most of these eliminations.
I mean, maybe even higher at this rate too.
Yeah.
We're gonna finally see Shadowbird try to come in contest, but it will not be enough. I swear, Sinatra is trying to perform when the time counts when I'm watching him because he knows he can be replaced for the Overwatch World Cup. He's like Big Daddy Jason or Jeff. I mean, they call me Jeff all the time.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, thanks, man. Doesn't want to replace. Doesn't want to replace him, so good on him. Sinatra for really showing up. But it makes me wonder, though, right? With how well Selfless is playing so far in this match or in this series, what happened in their other games that they lost?
No, again, Team Liquid and CLG, they've been on the up and up. They've been performing better and better.
Yeah, I'm not denying that, but like, Selfless looks so damn strong. But I mean, I'm not saying, CLG and Liquid aren't good, but I expected Selfless with this kind of play, if they were pulling this off in those initial 2 matches, that the storylines would be different.
Well, they've already got 1 map on FaZe Clan. They're 2 more away from putting their first win on the board as we do move on to University. And yeah, McCree coming out. And we do notice that, like, the Koreans love to play their McCree. Cowboy coming on out this time. Carpe pushing into the left-hand side in that mini health pack room as FaZe Clan with the holding pattern right on outside. Point not unlocked quite yet.
Shadowbird is on the Genji, and Louis is going to be on the Tracer. Shadowbird already below half HP as Carpe is able to swing out. Joe Meister gets connected with the headshot, but Carpe can't follow up with the second. But Rockets has already gone down. The distractions coming in from the front line of Selfless is allowing Sinatra so much freedom. As finally Louis able to kill him, and if you can get that kind of freedom as a Tracer, you're going to have such an easy day and so many easy kills. Shadowbird just trying to dodge away from this one. Eventually he will go down, and Selfless will take the point again.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about a lot of the Korean hit scan players is that when the pressure's applied to them, it becomes a bit more difficult for them to actually connect on the shots. But when you have someone like Sinatra on your team to really enable you, get into the back line, distract them, and create that much space for you, they're able to succeed. Look at Carpe, he's on McCree. He's at 84% towards his Deadeye.
He's being protected very well by his team too, actually trying to force FaZe to come onto the point. They've put a lot of emphasis on this man, allowing Sinatra to play as he likes. But you have to have a lot of confidence in Sinatra to not die, because if he drops, then that's a 6v5 fight. That's a fight you shouldn't really be able to win.
Look at how Selfless were just moving as a group. They saw Louis going for a really wide flank, and they just moved around. Pulse Bomb came out, Sinatra taking out both supports by himself. And at this point, Carpe can just do whatever he wants, because Sinatra's just going 5v1.
Well, the point was turned because Selfless did push off to finish off those kills. But it doesn't matter, they're going to cap it back over. We're going to give up like, what, 13%? 11%. Good job, Jason. It's not like I can see the percent on the screen or anything like that. So they're going to recap it. It's really not big of a loss for them as they're going to continue to stack up this map. And they have too many ultimates, actually. I don't think Shadowburn's going to be effective at all.
Well, they do have that Transcendence behind it if they want to go for that combo just to keep them alive. But it's going to be very difficult. Remember, you do have to still deal with the flashbang, and Sinatra, once again, starts it off with a pick on the Fact Fiction.
And he didn't even have Pulse Bomb. Nope. It was just Discord and some damage. I think a right click out of Michael 3D to allow that one to happen. So now FaZe, what they're doing, they're trying to look for the pop on the Transcendence to allow Shadowburn to go big with his ultimate. They do have their own Trance, yes, but the thing is, a Deadeye, you don't stop a Deadeye with Trance. You don't stop a Pulse Bomb with Transcendence. So that ultimate's not going to be too effective unless you're just trying to mitigate some damage and keep people alive.
Yeah, Midnight just jumps right in front of him with the Defense Matrix, but he's able to connect onto Joe Meister. Transcendence getting popped, but Shadowburn now with the Dragon Blade. Found two. Is he going to get a third? It doesn't matter. Fact Fiction cleans up Carpe, and now FaZe Clan finally winning a team fight here. Will be able to take the point, but they're still stalling out on the side of Selfless.
Well, they use a Transcendence to keep Carpe alive in the midst of his Deadeye. Problem was, there wasn't that many targets for him to kill during this. So it did allow Shadowburn to pick up those kills and then Fact Fiction to help clean up. So good job by FaZe Clan here. But now can they hold on to the point? It almost feels like a matter of time. Sinatra just hasn't been missing Pulse Bombs, and he's been able to pull off these 1v1s, and even honestly like 1v3s, where he still gets a kill and gets away. Something that should never really happen.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that opening frag again, create that space for Carpe. But he will actually go down. This time it's going to be to Raucous. Louis connecting with the Pulse Bomb onto Dahak, and will force them back once again. Selfless, they have all the time in the world to work with. Louis might have gotten caught out, but no, he'll actually survive through that and force Midnight all the way back into spawn. They got like, decently like 2 more fights in them to get it back, but right now FaZe Clan's starting to work on their ultimates, right? They've got the Transcendence coming up, they've got the Primal Rage, and so they're on par so far with Selfless.
We got nothing offensive though, that's the problem. They have like 2 support-ish ultimates with Fact Fiction with the Primal Rage who can actually just knock them into these walls and pick up those kills, but there's a Transcendence gonna be popped. Keep them alive for now here, but Shadowburn's already been dropped because he wasn't really able to be healed at all. Raucous goes down to Michael, and now Selfless, on the verge of finishing off this map with just a couple more kills to go, are looking at 2-0 scoreline.
That was just great isolation coming out from Emong, right? He pops his Primal Rage, gets both supports in the right-hand corridor there, forces out the Transcendence just so he can stay alive, and now Selfless just cleaning up as the hack takes out his counterpart. Shadowburn tries to jump onto the point, but he's got a Winston right on his face. Emong just might be able to clean him up. It is actually going to be Sinatra taking out Fact Fiction there. Shadowburn gets the kill onto Sinatra, but man, things are looking bad so far.
No reflect on his high noon, ready to go for Carpe, and he's set up in a position to use. He's going to pop this one to use it to zone them off the point here. The overtime's taken away. Someone has to touch it. Someone's going to have to give up their life for this. But no, Shadowburn! He gets the reflect from the side, gets the Dragon Blade out. Michael's going to fall. Joe Meister chimes in, and his FaZe Clan going to turn this around.
Oh man, that Deadeye just working completely against Selfless there. Now the point did flip on over for them, 8%. They're gonna have to make a mad dash for this. That's why we're seeing them holding at the choke points here, making sure no one gets in. But at this point, it looks like they are able to contest. No, they were not. Unfortunately, Spree getting the kill onto Emong there just put a stop to them. So now the reverse sweep starts for FaZe Clan.
It's a bold statement here. It's a bold statement, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. Actually is like the 13th anniversary of Dodgeball today.
It is.
Yes. That's why I've been trying to make some references to it.
Average Joes
versus the Purple Cobras.
Versus the Purple Cobras. I wish you.
I wish
the camera's not even on.
That
Why
was
did I
really
even
good,
try that?
actually.
To be fair now, you have to do that on camera when it comes back to us. If you all have not seen the movie, Well, you're missing out on something great. But I think, like for you, you're watching another great show here, as it's going to be Selfless against FaZe Clan on Oasis. This FaZe Clan is trying to fight back, trying to pull this one back to maybe tie things up at 1 apiece, but they still have a while to go. And Carpe's not going to be able to make it this time, unfortunately, James.
Yeah, and so, you know, dipping into their hero pool now, Shadowburn, once again on this Genji, that proved successful for them on University, and so they are going to go for that. I believe he was on 76 the last time they were here, but now he should be a lot more impactful. We saw what he can do with those blades, just turn around fights. Now we have the engagement coming out from the side of FaZe Clan. Fact Fiction dropping really low. He's about 50 HP. He's going to be the first one to go down once again. That's going to be Sinatra, but Ruckus comes on back. Headshot onto Dahak.
Well, I mean, yeah, he comes back with a kill, but the problem is they've lost too many people. Carpe gets the DC on the spring, gets the kill on the loot, the Helix rocket, and Shadowburn's just not able to do all the work himself. But, you know, to be fair, though, Rockets is able to get some decent damage and some kills. The pressure applied to him is insane. So what we need to see out of FaZe Clan is keep their backline alive. Sinatra's been able to penetrate too many times, has been able to pick off too many supports and too many people in these one-on-ones. That should just not be happening.
Yeah, now the point did go over to FaZe Clan, so they got 20%, but Carpe's got this tactical visor getting largely eaten up by the D.Va, but that will force them back long enough for Selfless to actually flip the point.
Shadowburn, though, he's got Blade. Michael doesn't have Trance. Dahak doesn't have his barrier. So Shadowburn has the perfect opportunity here to actually pick up some kills and help turn this point back around. I think just about that Sinatra right above him, but with Blade ready to go, Selfless have to respect this one. More importantly, Sinatra needs to not die off the bat. If they keep Shadowburn a little bit low on life.
Oh,
Sinatra just comes around the corner and kills him. There's going to be no Blade now, and Selfless is going to be able to hold the point ideally.
Yeah, Sinatra does go down for his effort. Midnight forced out of his mech by Joe Meister. So now the Transcendence comes out on the side of FaZe Clan. That's going to be the sound barrier answered in kind by Selfless. But as that Transcendence goes away, Joe Meister will pop his own. Now they are pushing forward with that shield advantage, but no kills coming of it quite yet. Selfless doing a really good job of kiting backwards.
Double support ultimates to use out of FaZe Clan to try to take this point back. That's a little bit risky, but the hack goes down. Sinatra's able to turn things with the kill on Joe Meister, but Shadowburn, where's this man? This Visor to Carpe doing some decent work, but finally the blade comes out of Shadowburn to slice and dice his way through Carpe, through Emong, and through Sinatra. And FaZe Clan will turn this point back at about 60-ish%.
Yeah, Midnight tried to contest for as long as he can, but he went down, and that's what we're talking about. Shadowburn being on this high-impact hero. Once again on Genji, that really brought him all the fame that he was known for really early on, but now they are playing a little bit behind, right? They're at 40% almost, Selfless at 60, but there are no ultimates really on the side for Selfless.
Yeah, I mean, they committed a lot of them just to hold the point here. Look at Sinatra, he's just dodging a lot of these orbs coming his way from Ruckus. Kind of funny, he's playing against his teammate from the USA National Overwatch team, but he gets the 1v1 again. Like, Ruckus is not being protected. It's not his fault he constantly keeps dying, but you need to see Spree protect him to be more of a defensive diva, because Sinatra's too big of a threat, and you have to have some sort of response for him.
Yeah, the D-Mech comes out, Spree forced out of the D.Va Mecha, and once again, Selfless just cleaning up FaZe Clan. They'll get about 68 there. Selfless looking to even it out. Now, you really are right.
Well, I want to be fair, though, because to be fair to Spree, he's got Sinatra to watch out for, and he has Carpe. And when you're a diva, you can't obviously use defense matrix in a 360-degree angle. So he has to choose between both of them. It's just that when Carpe is such a threat, and Sinatra are both such a threat, you have to choose your battle. And unfortunately, they're just not able to keep Ruckus alive either way.
Yeah, we saw Sinatra facing off against Louis. Oh, the stick comes out. No. Louis will just have to back away there. Selfless. They still maintain control of the point. It's at 90%. Sound barrier gets used by Dahak, and now they punish Fact Fiction for jumping in. He had that primal rage, but he wasn't ready for the burst damage. Tactical visor will get used. Carpe trying to chase down that Tracer, but wasn't able to finish her off. There we go. Carpe finishing it off, taking out Louis. And now the man advantage coming on now. But Shadowburn has that Dragon Blade. Once again, finds one kill. It's onto Michael 3D. As the self-destruct comes out, Spree connects onto Emon. Got the D-Mech also onto Midnight. Now they are starting to run out of HP on the side of Selfless.
I think people forgot where that self-destruct was coming. The pulse bomb to come through. It's just... Actually, no, wait. It did kill Joe Meister somehow. I think that the subsidiary damage from that was able to finish him off. But the problem is they don't have enough people on the point, or enough people alive to hold this point in their hands. FaZe Clan will turn things around.
So we're coming down to the wire here. One more fight, really. Selfless needs to take this next one. And all they really have is that self-destruct for Midnight, but there's nothing on the other side for FaZe Clan to respond with. Louis can build up this pulse bomb. We'll see if he can get that clutch 2-3-man pulse bomb just to finish out this fight.
Maybe. I mean, he's going to need it. The self-destruct's going to be almost useless, though, to at least position themselves in a different spot. Oh, that's actually could have been amazing, but if the hack to push Fact Fiction into that self-destruct. These Discord orbs are coming in so perfectly out of Michael 3D to allow Carpe to become more of a threat. Obviously focusing targets down left and right, but Shadowburn finishes him off here, and this looking in for FaZe Clan. The 3 kills coming through might be enough. FaZe Clan, can they take a second map?
Yep, Sinatra getting close to his pulse bomb, but he's got no one else near him. He will fall, and now we're going to round 5 here on Oasis. FaZe Clan running it back so far against Selfless.
This reminds me of a really epic match we've had in the world of sports between Average Joes and the Purple Cobras, where they were down with one man, Peter LaFleur, the last man alive.
They threw a 4-man lead.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, they threw a 2-map lead here, Selfless. This FaZe Clan are coming back into this.
Well, was it a throw or was just Shadowburn showing up so far with this Genji? When he gets those blades, he's so deadly. Just game changer. Now, it looks like we're going back to University for our final point.
And Carpe's not going to be playing McCree. It seems to Soldier yet again. Don't want to use what worked the first time, I guess. Well, let's see. Everyone else pretty much running the same heroes. Yeah, I mean, I was really confused to see the Pharah out of Shadowburn. I wonder if we're going to see it maybe later on, though. I would imagine onto the next maps, maybe not as likely. But they've definitely seemed to have figured Selfless out a little bit. Even with Rockets going down time and time again, they've been able to at least kill everyone else from Selfless. And Carpe has actually switched the Soldier to McCree.
He's back on this McCree. I mean, he wasn't making any flashy plays. He was getting damage down. Wasn't really on that kill feed. It was largely Sinatra last time. So we'll see if they can find out how to make this work. Michael 3D comes in, takes out Joe Meister. That's huge.
You see Sinatra there being forced back, but it doesn't matter. Fact Fiction is going to go down because he was a little bit too far pushed up. And Shadowburn's not going to be able to do too much by himself here, because eventually he will be finished off. The point will be taken for Selfless. A good initial start here. And again, I just wanted to point out one thing that I tried to mention last time, was that Michael and Carpe, considering, you know, they're speaking different languages, pretty much, have been able to really focus the right targets. When he was playing Soldier, every time he would attack Fact Fiction on the Winston, there was always a Discord target, or there was always a Discord on him, which allowed Carpe to just shred through him in that one clip with the Helix rocket. So, some good communication between the supports and the DPS players. Carpe's been pretty damn impressive so far.
Yeah, one real big thing we have to notice here is that the hack has that sound barrier while Joe Meister is still working on his, so they are pushing forward. Emong needs to get healed up, though. He's so low. Shadowburn tried to go for the blade, but didn't find anything of it. Pulse bomb kills getting exchanged, but Louis, getting the better of it, was able to get the D-Mech onto Midnight, but gets answered with a headshot for his troubles.
Shadowburn trying to run away here. Primal Rage will be coming in with the Transcendence too out of Michael. So he's able to keep Carpe alive. He's just going to feed so much 0% from Fact Fiction in that Primal Rage form. Selfless will take the point back here to get up to that 30% mark in just a few seconds. FaZe Clan only at 21. And Rockets does have his Transcendence. But again, Transcendence does not stop the Deadeye. It does not stop the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, one of the things that might be working towards the detriment of Selfless, especially here on University, is how they give up the point, right? We've seen it flip during the team fight, and then Selfless coming in for a retake after the end of the team fight. As we saw FaZe, they pick up 21%, and that might be a crucial 20%, as Selfless are trying to play more of a death volley style.
Fact Fiction dives in. Oh, Louis somehow dodged away from that flashbang. I'm not sure exactly how he did that. He gets a return kill on Carpe to make him pay for that miss. And FaZe Clan looking good to take the point back yet again.
Yeah, here on University, we're used to like long, drawn-out team fights, but once again, Selfless was off the point. Take a look at how close that FaZe were to taking the point before they even ended the fight. And so at least Selfless were able to get on there and try and draw out the fight a little bit longer. That got them to 69%, but FaZe now has control. But there are a lot of ultimates on the side of Selfless here.
They really are. You got the sound barrier, which is going to be very crucial. But Emong, I think, if he can knock away Spree, it'll allow Carpe to get the full channel off on the Deadeye. And they might want to invest something to actually keep him alive. But with the hack dropping already, they're actually going to lose the opportunity to keep Carpe alive. This is going to be a tough Deadeye, but it's just going to force them back around the corner.
Yeah, there's Spree right on top of him. He will be forced out of his mech. He tried to go for that deflect. Did Shadowburn. Carpe picks up the kill. Now they're pushing forward. Our Selfless Primal Rage is going to get used by Fact Fiction just to back them all off. And, you know, I don't disagree with it at all. The Zenyatta is not there to put the orb on him. Now he does fall back, and he's going to get healed up by his team. 70% on the board for FaZe. Shadowburn, he's got that Dragon Blade ready.
He's got the blade, but Michael's got the trance ready. As long as Michael doesn't get it forced out early on, which needs a Soundbreak to force the engagement. Shadowburn is just waiting for this trance to be popped so he can go in, but that defensive ultimate out of Rockets is going to help keep them alive for now. The Selfless can be thrown out and right down the hole. That's a hole in one, yes, but that's not the hole in one you're looking for, son. You didn't get any kills with that one. And now, Michael, you've got your trance. You might as well use it this rate because this is your last fight. No! Corby! He misses the flashbang shots on the spree. He gets the resuit. And FaZe Clan, I think they're going to take this point.
Yeah, 95, 96. Shadowburn's got the blade. He runs into their spawn. He gets focused down. But while on the point, Rockets was able to get the kill onto Dahak.
They've lost too many people, though. Selfless are just falling like dominoes. And FaZe Clan, the reverse sweep that you pointed out earlier on, Jamerson, is going to come true. They're going to pull back Oasis and tie things up at 1 apiece.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Those were some major misplays at the end. Carpe, you have spree flashbangs. You have to hit those shots. You're McCree. That's your whole kit. That's like not knowing how to dash over and over again as a Genji. And then, of course, we did see, I think it was Midnight with a self-destruct that led it down the hole. I mean, yeah, goal. All right, good for you, man. But you didn't get any kills, and that entire ultimate was wasted.
Yeah, I think it was just a proper adjustment coming up from FaZe. You know, that pharmacy not really quite working out for them. Put Shadowburn on something that he's much more comfortable with, and we saw the impact that he was actually able to apply onto this map.
Well, and especially in such a haphazard game, because these teams, they look like they've been battered throughout the day, and now they're just tossing out ultimates left and right. It's very scrappy fights, even compared to other Oasis matches that we've seen. But I got to give it to Shadowburn. He knows how to play Genji, and I think that Louis started coming a lot more online with Tracer, and maybe even just as that secondary threat enables Shadowburn even more.
I'm kind of wondering what... I mean, no, I agree. I'm just thinking about like kind of how FaZe Clan's mentality was. Like, start with a Far Mercy. It didn't really work on Nabani. Why wouldn't it necessarily work again on Oasis? They get the point eventually. They had the position on the point in the beginning, even that initial kill on Zenyatta onto Michael, but they weren't able to take the point. And I think after that initial moment, they're like, all right, you know what, forget the Far. It's just not working. The Mercy's not working either because of the pressure that's being applied by Carpe on the Soldier and Sinatra on the Tracer. But Shadowburn, I mean, it's a strategy. It's not really broken. His Genji, it's still one of the best in the world, and yet they were trying to force him into different heroes. I'm not sure exactly why, but
not sold on his Pharah at this point.
He has a really good Pharah. Like, he had one of the best in Europe, but here against who he was playing, it just didn't work.
Yeah, like I said, not sold. But somebody I am sold on is Tracer. Tracer. Of course, actually, I really am sold on Tracer. But Sinatra's Tracer specifically, he put on his carry pants there for sure, and fought his best to try to give them this map.
I mean, his kill participation was really high up there. I would say probably in the 70s or 80s. Started dipping towards the end there as a lot more focus was put on him. One of the things I really want to point out, though, was just how Selfless were really playing that, like, 4 protect 1. We saw a lot of attention being put on Carpe by Selfless to try and keep him alive, but when he was going for that McCree, it really wasn't working out for him.
Yeah, it's a test, though, to Sinatra's skill, right? To not die when you're basically by yourself on your own island.
Yeah, and I mean, Carpe was hitting headshots and he was getting some stuff done, but not quite the McCree that was able to topple the dominoes in their favor. The dominoes toppled in the reverse sweep against them. Well, it's tied 1-1 in the series. Hanamura is going to be our next map. We've seen a lot of Temple of Anubis, but we're going to be seeing the beautiful pink Hanamura. I'm
actually really hoping during that cast you did something that was not caught on camera.
Oh, yeah.
That you
know what? Let's just take a little bit of a break.
You know, for its you have to at least look like you're enjoying it, because I know deep down you are.
Yeah.
I am. I love that movie. That was
a great movie.
One of the best movies.
We're enjoying it as well. As we're
Vince Vaughn, like, it was
Ben
really
Stiller.
Yeah. Stiller.
That was a scrappy battle, for sure.
It was.
This one has been scrappy as well, and I can't imagine it's going to change here on Hanamura. It's another situation. I love Hanamura because you can see some pretty niche stuff come out here. And with just how scrappy these teams are fighting, I wouldn't be surprised with almost anything.
Now, this is actually a style that really, a map that lends well to FaZe's style, right? If they do run that Genji Tracer, I think it's going to be very potent, especially for Shadowburn. I mean, he knows how to abuse a lot of the different angles that you can get, especially on point A and on point B.
Is he going to run it, though? I mean,
I hope so.
if you're FaZe Clan, after seeing how as far as good, I'm not denying that at all, but seeing how it didn't work, let's just say that. It didn't work against Selfless. Are they just going to keep him on the Genji? There's always potential for, you know, a couple different heroes when it comes to these assault maps, and Hanamura is going to be no different, where there's always that potential for a Sombra play. But
Yeah.
Carpe, I don't know. I think his soldier was just like top notch in that initial Nambani and even into some of the maps of Oasis. So it was refreshing to see, but maybe we're seeing him not fully adapted. You know, maybe jet lag or maybe the long day has gotten to him, because some of those shots should have. I mean, on any other day would have hit.
Yeah, the thing is, like, McCree's already really vulnerable to dive, and teams have been trying to make it work. Some people theorize it was kind of like maybe possibly the counter, but it never really worked out. There's just too much pressure applied to him. So I like that. He's not going for it again. He's going for Soldier 76. It's going to be FaZe starting off on the defensive end, and it's going to be a solo support. Joe Meister is on that Lucio. Rock is picking up the Sombra now. We've got Louis on Roadhog.
Well, we've seen this strategy used yesterday. A little bit of a different comp this time, though. They use a Sombra, hold aggressive. Shadowburn is looking for some early damage, and with that pick and that hook on a Michael, it allows FaZe Clan to have that man advantage that they're looking for to take this fight. But they're actually losing on quite a few people. They've lost Joe. They've lost the mech on Spree. Spree's gone down now, and this comp just might not have worked for him. The EMP has come in. Honestly, I don't even know if I hit a single person because people, I think, were outside the room.
Oh, Ruckus goes down there, but I couldn't see if the pack was still hacked there. They do have one. They could try and heal up and get him ever closer. There we go. They got a hacked one there. So they will be able to build up Ruckus's ultimate a little bit quicker, but they got to hurry up. Selfless, they know that they have the timing, right? They were able to get those staggered kills, so they just full force push on in. Sinatra gets the first frag onto Fact Fiction.
Well, Louis and Shadowburn are in a decent position to go for the refight, not to mention Louis still looking for these hooks. Michael almost getting caught off there as it just skates by him. I mean, they have 4 people, 5 people on the point, so it's going to be very hard for FaZe Clan to retake this. The EMP is almost ready to go at 90%. Remember, that health pack is hacked up there, which is now giving him his EMP, which they're probably looking for the opportunity to go in. That sound barrier completely mitigated because people lost out from that EMP being used.
Oh, that looked so good for Ruckus. They had 3 members just huddled in the corner. Unfortunately, they broke the LOS. He wasn't able to commit onto those kills. Midnight gets the D-Mech onto Spree, and he gets focused down by Sinatra. Now the blade comes out for Shadowburn, but is it going to be too late? He's already dropped down to 95 HP, has to juke that. Now he gets focused down with the help of Sinatra. Shadowburn will go down, and it looks like Selfless might have just done it. They're going to crack open point A.
This gong is tilted me as you keep hearing when everyone shoots it, it just goes off. I mean, that's just the amount of fire that's been going on inside this, excuse me, this point. Rockets and Joe Meister have dropped. So has Louis with Carpe getting the kill, which might allow him to push in. They have some good ultimates actually here. This is really dangerous. Spree, he's got his mech, and they're going to want to shove this straight down the throats of FaZe Clan, charging directly on the point.
Rocket swapped off onto Ana, so there's no Sombra play for them at this point. But Shadowbird got the first kill onto Sinatra. They've got the Transcendence getting used by Michael 3D, but the sound barrier is answered. Both sound barriers coming out now. No frags coming over quite yet, but they are starting to force FaZe Clan off the point.
Oh, Louis trying to go for that 1v1 against Michael, and it looks like he's going to win out of this one. He still has full HP. Michael can't hit the right click, and he will fall, but Carpe's been able to pick up 2 kills. Problem is, no one's been able to actually capture any progress on the point, as Louis is still off the side. He's being such a nuisance. He will fall with Carpe, as a post bomb does miss. And the progress, it's still not coming through.
Here's the self-destruct coming out from Midnight, and it connects,
Wait,
takes
really?
out Spree and Shadowburn, and that might have just opened it up for Selfless. It's still getting contested right now, but they're focusing him down. Joe Meister on the point. It's going to be Louis who takes a Helix rocket, and so there's the first tick. Will they be able to get the second? They do, but FaZe are here.
Post bomb, Sinatra has it. He's looking for opportunity. They're actually finally now at the same position. Sinatra needs to stay alive. Post bomb goes through, catch on the rock, because that's going to be a major healer now down. But I believe he got the nano boost off, but it doesn't seem to matter because Shadowburn has been picked off in the midst of this. Still being contested, but 88.8% has already been built up for Selfless. FaZe Clan are falling 1 by 1. This just might be it.
It might just be it, but still, here come the respawn. Spree able to make it onto the point. We've got the tactical visor getting used by Carpe, but a lot of it got eaten up by that defense matrix. Rockets will fall. Spree goes dip. And now here is that self-destruct once again coming out from Midnight. Connects onto Louis.
Joe Meister, last one alive. He will drop in 4 minutes and 18 seconds. Put on the board here for Selfless. Fantastic transition from that first point into second, and I think it was Joe Meister, Louis, and Raucus both over-committing in that first point to die too late. And of course, you got to credit to Midnight picking up that double kill with that self-destruct to really crack open that point and finally allowing them to build up that progression. So that, Jamerson, that aggressive defense we saw at a FaZe Clan worked out the first time, but second, it just caused them to lose too much positioning, too much ground because they lost way too many people in that initial skirmish.
Well, we saw this earlier, just in an opposite way, right? If you don't have the Sombra on first point, swapping it off onto second, it's weird and might not work out. This was the opposite way, right? They start off with the Sombra and then swap off onto Ana, onto point B. And in that way, they didn't have an EMP to try and work with, to try and mitigate the snowball effect that Selfless had pushing onto it. But at this point, it was just sheer brute force coming out from Selfless, just committing onto that point. And they were able to come up with huge frags. But like you had mentioned, by midnight, he ended up getting 3 kills with self-destructs over the course of 2. And so that was a huge heroic play coming out from him.
I mean, normally it's hard to just get one with a self-destruct, but to get 2 in 1 and then to get another one onto Louis. So you got onto like Genji's, you got it onto I think Raucus on one of them, and then onto Tracers. Like that's not easy to do at all. That's in good position, and maybe some missteps at a FaZe Clan has cost them that first point or that second point. There's still so much time here on the board out of Selfless. I'm getting worried for FaZe Clan here. Like, oh wait, Nabani didn't look good at all for them. They were finally able to bounce back onto Oasis, but where's that momentum switch from the second map to the third? Where's it gone?
Now, Sinatra, it looks like he is going to be sticking with this Sombra. So they've got the double support Sombra. So they got a lot of sustain on the side of Selfless. And, you know, we've seen Sinatra's aim before. We've seen the frantic aim when he's under pressure with the Tracer before. If he can replicate that on this Sombra, he's going to get his ultimate so quickly. Now, FaZe Clan, out the gates. They've pushed out with that same composition once again. Now, the interesting thing is that Raucus is once again going to be on that Ana for the attack.
All right, so I mean, obviously they're trying to power up Shadowburn a little bit here, which is very likely. Again, there's a chance to hit a sleep dart on Sinatra. If Emon gets too aggressive on the Winston, it could allow a biotic grenade to come through, actually get an easy kill. The FaZe Clan, they're actually kind of split. You can see Louis being left to his own, like Sinatra has been for Selfless. Carpe being dropped to about half HP, but this battle with the bubble is just causing so many problems.
Great sleep dart coming out from Raucus and connected onto Sinatra, and immediately got focused down by Shadowbird. Now Joe Meister with a 2-man right click, taking out Emong and Carpe, and Selfless's defense just cracked like that. It only took them a minute to get this point, as Midnight will get cleaned up.
All right, so first attack, successful for FaZe Clan. They also almost have the Nano and the Dragon Blade. Selfless have no defensive ultimates to counter this. Honestly, this could be FaZe Clan just whitewashing Selfless on the second point. They have 6 minutes and 50 seconds left. If they combo this correctly, and if Shadowburn can go off, we could be looking at FaZe Clan putting up a better time than Selfless.
Yeah,
it's possible.
I still don't like that they swapped off from the Sombra. You built up your ultimate. Why not just try and go for that EMP? We've seen it become the great equalizer time and time again. But now, Sinatra is once again on that Tracer, as the high ground has been gotten by. FaZe Clan, Louis starts it off, gets the first kill onto Dak.
There's a Nano Blade coming through. Carpe's gonna get the mitigation, at least with the reflect for now. Michael's gonna fall from this. That's 2 kills now for Shadowburn. He's gonna continue to look for more here. Midnight on the D.Va is just trying to stall for as long as he can, but problem is he doesn't have a self-destruct. He's not even close to this one. But Dahak is able to get a kill on the Rockets. That's actually really for Selfless to stop this pressure that FaZe Clan's applying. They lost their big healer.
Yeah, Shadowburn time and time again coming in to finish off these kills. The Primal Rage is gonna get used by Emong, and during that time, Sinatra falls. Emong was able to get the kill onto Joe Meister. Is that gonna be enough? Getting rid of that Lucio. Self-destruct this time, coming out from Spree, but it's going to be Carpe that has been able to shut down Shadowbird.
Yeah, well done, honestly. Like, they were able to kill, like, honestly, it all goes back to Dahak getting the kill on the Raucus. If Ana did not die there, if Raucus did not fall, they would have had so much healing. Joe Meister would not have died during that Primal Rage, and they would have been able to build up a third of the point, at least. Maybe at most. I don't know. It depends on how that fight was really going, but at least had more progress and had more of a chance of maintaining that. But honestly, Dahak, that was an amazing play.
All right, so they've got the Transcendence. Carpe almost has his Dragon Blade, and Sinatra, of course, I feel like he's always has his Pulse Bomb. There's nothing really to answer. And on the side of FaZe, Pulse Bomb came out. It looked like it didn't connect from Sinatra. Now they are starting to push forward. Is Louis? He's got the Pulse Bomb. It connects. It takes out Emong.
I mean, they're going to lose that first man, but Carpe has his blade, so if they're going to commit to this one with no ultimates, they're going to be actually shut down swiftly, but just as quick as I speak out swiftly, Swift strikes Carpe, and Shadowburn picks up that kill, forcing out Trance out of Michael. So they can at least fight this out and look for a kill.
All right, so they are contesting the point quite not quite getting contested, but Emong will be able to hunt down Shadowburn. Ruckus on the high ground, trying to get some free shots off. Sleep Dart doesn't quite connect, but now he gets jumped on top by Emong once again. He's been doing a fantastic job just finding the threats and focusing them down by himself.
And you can see Ruckus is looking for the bio grenade onto Michael, then the quick shot to finish him off, but the bio missed. So he wasn't able to get the kill to take away that Orb of Discord, which allowed Emong to be so aggressive and to pick up those kills. A little bit of missed up here to FaZe. And Selfless now are guaranteed to have a better time bank going into the second round of Hanamur if we do get to it. But at this rate, with how decisive these fights have really been, I'm not sure if FaZe Clan can finish this map.
Yeah, they will have that Nano Blade once again. Shadowburn just got it. Rocket's only 5% away. Pulse Bomb came out from Sinatra. Did not stick this time as the high ground is getting contested by Selfless.
I'm not sure if the Nano Blade's going to be enough. Like, Emong could just knock Shadowburn away with his Primal Rage. Or just save it and then stall with time for the next one, because then Michael should be able to build up a trance or at least get close to it in a long, drawn-out fight on the point. But FaZe Clan with 5 ults, like, this is your chance. Like, this is your opportunity, practically. They're just looking for that one pick. They're looking to just drop someone to really open things up.
Yeah, but every second that they're up here on the high ground is just less and less time for them, as we do have Carpe changing his focus, but the Primal Rage does come out by FaZe. Now, the Sound Barrier is going to be committed. Here's the Dragon Blade coming out from Carpe.
And return Shadow Blade as well. Shadow Blade gets a kill on a Carpe. Looking for the second. Sinatra somehow escapes. Was that a Phantom Slash? Was that a recall? Either way, Sinatra is still alive, being that annoying pest, dancing around, buying a lot of time by making Shadowburn focus onto him and to him only. And Shadowburn finally able to get the kill right as Sinatra did get his pulse bomb up. But the point, it's not even a third of the way captured.
No, they've been doing a really good job of just contesting it the entire time. Now Selfless cleaned up just a little bit. The hack was there trying to contest. Now Carpe will fall to Shadowburn. So, have they gotten the tick yet? I can't quite tell. Sinatra, though, finds a kill on Shadowburn.
He found off the back of Spree being attached to the pulse bomb as Shadowburn walks directly into it. But this Transcendence and with the kills they've been able to get, is going to allow them to turn this point around. FaZe Clan will not be able to close that list. There's a moment of brilliance, and Sinatra, who's going to dislodge him? Shadowburn's already dead. He's just going to be locked up here in the high ground with nothing to stop him. And really, honestly, not many targets to kill, because Michael 3D and Emong, they had blood in their eyes, and they wanted those kills themselves.
Not many at all, and, you know, I kind of like this. You know, he hasn't been as impactful as he has on Tracer in the past, but it might have just been a last-minute thing. He might be going back to spawn right now to change. We'll see.
Oh, he wants it! He gets it! Carpe shuts down Louis, which is going to buy them another at least 10-15 seconds of time. You cannot afford to die in those situations if you're Tracer. If Genji, you can, because the respawn will always be there, and you'll be very close to your team to join back in. But now even getting closer to his ultimate, 84%. FaZe Clan, 1 minute and 50 left to go.
At this point, do you maybe try nano boosting Fact Fiction so he can try and hunt down Carpe and Sinatra, or do you go ahead with that Nano Blade again, Jason?
I think you Nano Blade it. Michael doesn't have Trance. They're going to have Sound Barrier and like 20% for the hack, which you should have your Blade up relatively soon if you're Shadowburn. And he's already able to pick up those 2 or 3 kills. It's just they weren't able to hold on long enough because Ruckus did fall. But the Blades come out, sorry, the Nanos come out to Fact Fiction. He's got his Primal Rage to buy some extra time, but there's no kills coming. That's the problem.
Yeah, Carpe uses that Blade, but he's dropped down low, picks up the health pack, and we have the Sound Barrier coming out from the side of Selfless. We've got the Genji battles going on, but we do have some interruptions as Spree tries to focus him down. He does get healed up. That Bio Nade is there. There we go. Sinatra gets the kill onto Ruckus.
Ruckus peeks for a split second, then the Discord was directly on him. Sinatra and Carpe together in tandem just jumped directly on that man, and he dropped as soon as he peeked that corner. 50 seconds left to go. Selfless going to hold yet again. FaZe Clan are struggling here.
Struggling's an understatement at this point. They've gotten the 1 tick after 6 minutes or so.
Yep.
You want to at least, you know, walk away with a tick per every other push, but they haven't even been able to accomplish that. Now, Ruckus swaps on over. He used that nano boost in the last fight. He's going to go ahead and pick up Zenyatta here. Hopefully, that Orb of Discord will allow Shadowburn to pick up more kills as Louis jumps into the back, drop down to 26 HP, uses the recall, Pulse Bomb comes out, takes out the hack, and now this might just be it. That's the 2-man advantage. It's still being contested. We have the Transcendence coming out, and Spree connects with that self-destruct onto Emong.
Well, don't forget about Midnight. He has his own self-destruct here, and he's able to pick up so many kills last time. Michael switched over to Mei to buy a lot of time. Shadowbird barely gets around the corner. As Louis does get the kill in a minute before he gets that resuit back in. Raucus getting the kill on Sinatra, and Michael is just buying some time with the main. Amon coming back in as well. The Hack joining the party yet again. The third of the point has been taken, but Selfless, all they need is 1 or 2 kills. With Joe Meister falling, they might just have it. Spree up to the side. It's going to buy a lot of time, but he's not going to be focused down for a while. It's going to be very difficult to get to this man. Raucus is so close to Transcendence.
Yeah, they took out Emong there, so they're pushing forward. Raucus was able to even get the D-Mech, and now Shadowburn, he's got the Dragon Blade. That's 2 down. He's on the hunt for more, as they will clean up Carpe, but Sinatra's back. He gets the kill onto Raucus, but immediately goes down for his first pulse bomb. It wasn't needed. It was Joe Meister that finishes off Michael 3D, but Emong is trying his best to keep it alive, and in the final hour, FaZe will be able to get the point, but I mean, take a look at the time that Selfless have and take a look at the time that FaZe have.
So 4 minutes and 18 seconds to capture a third of the first point.
Yep.
Yup.
They just had such a great push, and Selfless did an amazing job of just, you know, stalling out on the point. I mean, it looked like FaZe were just struggling to string together the kills, right? They were able to delay for the longest time were Selfless, and I feel like a lot of it was just back off the Ana. Like, she wasn't able to line up the bio-nades that she needed for Selfless, or excuse me, for FaZe to try and snowball off of these fights.
Yup. Sorry, I had to go for it there. No, you're right. I mean, Selfless, though, like knowing a third of the point, Carpe could go Widowmaker. Like, they don't even need to do anything standard. They could be super fancy if they want to. And FaZe Clan's going for that aggressive defense. I don't know why. Why do you go for this aggressive defense? Because, like, this means Shadowburn can't really play with you in the front, because if a Tracer gets by you, starts capturing the point, hello, you could lose the map. I don't know if I fully agree with it, but maybe this is a strategy that they're comfortable with to run on Hanamura on this defense. It's just really risky when you only have to lose a third of the point to lose the map.
Yep, so Louis, once again on the high ground here, he just wants to make sure no one gets past him, right? Try to jump through the window or go straight through the door. Now Sinatra, he went for that Sonic Arrow, didn't really spot anything out, and of course, it goes to tried and true Tracer as they immediately check that big health pack room, force them back. But it's going to be Louis. Gets the first frag onto Sinatra.
It's just rough because Shadowburn's like the last bastion of defense for them. If anyone gets by him, then that could be the map taken away. Louis at half HP going to be fine though. Going to really get the host pack and really give Raucus his EMPs at 83%. He actually has it now because the amount of damage Louis and Fact Fiction are taking. EMP's going to come in. He's looking for that kill against Michael, and who sure as hell will get it.
All right, great play coming out of them so far. And here's the thing. Spree, Fact Fiction, and Shadowburn all so low that they're going to be able to pick up these health packs, and Raucus gets closer and closer to his EMP. He's at 30% already.
Yeah, but Spree just died.
Yeah.
And that's a big man they're going to lose out on. That defense switch is just so big for them. Shadowburn's about to have his blade, and Louis is always that omnipresent Roadhog, where just that simple hook could come around the corner and catch you off guard. Carpet taking the high ground. There's actually a person on the point. I think that's Sinatra who's forced Shadowburn back. So that 1v1's going to be very crucial.
Yeah, so we do have the tactical visor coming out from Carpe, but it's going to be the Dragon Blade inside of Shadowburn. He hasn't found anything of it quite yet. Midnight has fallen, but finally Shadowburn connects onto Dahak. Gets the dash reset, jumps on top of that Soldier 76. Carpe forced back.
I'm still not sure who the hell was touching the point. They did get a decent amount of progress built up, but either way, we only see Sinatra actually back there yet again to try to capture one to sneak that one back. But even with the initial kills that Selfless did get, they weren't able to turn that into a one-sided fight.
Now, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock for Selfless. I mean, still they could just, you know, bank up ultimates. I wish that Sinatra didn't show his hand there and just lurked in the back, because what he really needs to do is just get onto the point and force a few members of FaZe to just draw back. Now Transcendence is going to get used by Michael as they push onto the point. And now Joe Meister with a crucial kill onto Sinatra, but Fact Fiction has gone down.
Yeah, you're not really going to kill Genji there either when he has a health pack to be used, but they use the Transcendence to get themselves onto the point here with a lot of kills coming through. Spree and Raucus are one of us. A few remaining people on the point here. Louis tries to get the hook in. He gets an Amok. He finishes off the kill as well, which is very big for them. He gets boomed off. The Hack comes up big. Now it just equalizes things in terms of men. And with Spree being de-suited, they have no defense here left on the point, and that third is going to be captured. Selfless gonna take the third map.
You see, that was just a different approach. Beforehand, Selfless just kept running into that mega health pack room, challenging them there, hoping to pick up a kill. Instead, this time they just ran straight through the main gate and forced them to fight on their terms.
I mean, that's what Transcendence gives you. A mobile fighting unit, the MFU, able to push straight through. Like, your whole point is to kill them, right, before they get there, but how are you gonna kill them when they have a trance? Unless you can instantly burst them down, which all the pressure comes on to Louis. Don't take that one. Don't take that one, Gil.
What do you mean?
The MFU.
Listen, I think it's all about the MFU, okay? We saw the MFU come out here big. I'm going to talk about it.
Well, let's talk about it then.
I would like you to talk about it.
You want me to talk about
Yeah.
it? Well, they were struggling to get out of that section where they had, don't look at me like that, when they had the entire team grouped
Yeah,
up.
that's-
I'll make this realistic. It'll be a thing.
Yeah.
But once the trance was online, it's like, well, you're not going to kill us as we transition from basically right outside of our spawn into the point. Unless Louis hits a hook and kills someone, which he was unable to, I guess, right there. And once they got on the point, they're forcing the team to come to them where there's no hacked health packs and they're not set up in these crazy positions to catch them off guard. So
Yeah, as it turns out, Sombra is biggest and best next to those megas, you know, and they just, as soon as you move the fight somewhere else, you don't have nearly as much
that's like
in
the
your
weakness of
in your bank.
Symmetra too, is like
Yeah.
if you don't fight around the turrets, then you can't really do much. Once the turrets are gone, once the health packs are gone, then you're useless. Well, not useless, but you know what I mean.
Less useful.
Less useful.
Less
Sounds
useful.
better.
I'll give you that. But yeah, I mean, another. I hate to keep reusing this scrappy situation there, to say the least. Selfless, you know, it took them a couple attempts to get first there on their attack. They were able to snowball it so hard there on second, and which is really a must-have when you're talking about Hanamura.
Well, once again, I'm going to harken back to having that Sombra and then swapping off onto Ana. You lose all of that ultimate charge, and especially with a huge ultimate like EMP. I understand that the battlefield over there on point B is much different, right? It's so huge there, you might not catch everybody, but still, it's a great equalizer to use and make sure that no one snowballs off of it. And I just don't agree with swapping off there.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that. Well, good old MFU aside, it was I mean, the closest thing we've seen between these two teams. Of course, we did see it go to map number 5 on Control as well. But we're going to be going to our 4th map, and this is, I think, the first deciding 4th map of the day on stream anyway, as we've had a lot of 2-3-0s, 3-1s. But FaZe Clan, they can now bring it back, try to get that draw. Selfless, though, they want to push themselves ahead here with the victory. And right now, with the way they're playing and the way that they've integrated Carpe, despite the language barrier, they've definitely made a case for that 3-1.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because they are putting in 2 new players into their roster, right? Kresnik sitting this one out. And so attempting that kind of change when there are huge stakes on the line, really ballsy for them, but it's paying off so far here in this match.
I mean, they kind of have to just deal with the cards that were dealt to them, right?
Yeah.
You know, losing a player last second and then having to kind of fill his shoes and then kind of fill another person's shoes. It's not easy to do, especially when Snotcher wasn't really there to like practice with the team. I'm not blaming or anything like that, but just because they had to bring in new people, it changes the whole dynamic of the team and the whole identity of the team. You have to play like a really different style.
And with these changes, and we've even seen this with other teams, and one big question about Overwatch Contenders at large is how can teams improve over time? How can they continue to evolve both as individual players as well as a team? You know, we wanted to see this picture over a period of time, and they just brought this stuff on, and now these team members on, and now we're going to see them next week. And I'm really curious to see the change between this week and next week, because we already are seeing Carpe contributing. If they can fully bring him on board and really flesh out this their tank situation, they could actually be pretty potent.
Well, think about Team Expert over in Europe. And if you guys missed on those matches, head to overwatchcontenders.com. You can get yourself up to date on everything that happened in the European group. Team Expert.
Nailed it.
I did. From the qualifiers into the first week of the actual group stage, they completely changed. And they fared themselves really well. They even went like 2-2 against EU United, and they were able to beat some really tough teams. I'd say you give Selfless a week, and they're going to become such a dominant force.
Yeah, well, and not to mention that the players themselves are not being put in a situation. I mean, they're used to being at this level of play, not necessarily with each other. But Carpe coming in, I mean, he's played, at the highest level. And you look at Team Expert and some of these other teams that are newer or have some newer roster additions. Not everyone is used to playing at that level, so they have different challenges than some of the other teams.
If you're Selfless, right, you have to kind of think, what's your identity going to become now? Because when you had your Solid 6 before, you knew how you play. You knew what you wanted to do. But now the fact that you have to change yourself and change maybe how your team plays. Do you force Carpe to play around your team and what you want? Do you change your entire team to play around Carpe? Like, there's a lot of these small decisions, these small, minute changes that have to come into effect to really decide how your team's going to come out and come through this.
So, Route 66, is going to be our 4th deciding map here. Now, FaZe, they can still tie it up, but it's looking difficult. Selfless are looking really clean. I mean, even, you know, like we had mentioned, adding on 2 new players, Carpe dealing with a pretty substantial travel time, because I'm not entirely too sure where Selfless is. I want to say they're closer to the East Coast, right? No?
I believe they're actually West Coast.
Are they?
Are they? I don't know, actually.
Because, like, at least...
No, Selfless did fly across the country, so yeah, I think they're East Coast.
Yeah. So, like, the flight from Korea to Southern California, I've made it multiple times. It's about 12 hours.
Jeez, I have to brag about it.
Multiple times.
I'm a world traveler.
Quite the
I'm
world
Jameson.
traveler. No, I'm not even a world traveler. I've just been to Korea and Japan. That's it. So,
It's a good place to visit, though.
Yeah, very beautiful. Kind of want to go back for Apex Grand Finals. That's going to be, what, in the end of July?
And if you too want to head over to Japan and Korea, just go over to OverwatchContenders.com. I don't know why you'd go there for flight tickets, but hey, maybe they're going to be there one day. We got everything. We got VODs, we got standings, we've got even rosters if you want to check that out.
We've got jump rope, or just, what are they playing? Hopscotch? Hopscotch.
Pin the tail on the fat man?
No.
I don't know.
He's not fat, he's big bone. He's got a thyroid problem. There we go. That's what we decided.
Problem. The new
evolution
big bone
of-
to 2017. I've got a thyroid problem. Anyways, let's move past that because Louis will be playing the Roadhog nonetheless.
But take a look. Ruckus, once again, on that Sombra. So it can work out here. There are a few health packs to really try and deny away from Selfless more than anything, I would say.
I mean, we have seen what EU United, I think, being one of the first teams that I've seen running the Sombra on the defense during Route 66 within the Western world. It looks like Ruckus wants to kind of take a page out of their playbook. But then again, I don't know how impactful his Sombra necessarily was on Hanamura, or maybe it was just like the team, not necessarily his kind of effort, but Hook gonna come in, you want to be pulled in, but I believe the shot didn't come through if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Midnight was right there with that defense matrix to keep him alive, but Joe Meister getting the better of Sinatra might just open it on up. The pressure is going to be applied by the defense. Now EMP came on out, and they're on the hunt for these frags.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the EMPs, not the EMPs, sorry, the Sombra hacking his health backs is really preventing Sinatra from doing as much work as he needs to, because he likes to play by himself, you know, in the back line, pick up the health packs, constantly be this nuisance without falling. It's just kind of an assembly line of, all right, who's up next? Who's picking up the health pack? All right, you got it. All right, who's up next? Defeat this EMP. Ruckus just used it last fight, didn't he?
Yep, and that's
he
the
has it
strength.
again.
That's the strength about winning these fights off the EMP, right? You just have that discipline not to heal up with your supports. Just tell everyone, go to the health pack, and you get it almost instantly. Ruckus has it again, and I don't know if Selfless is going to be ready for it. Now they're going to go for some verticality to try and avoid it. So Sinatra has swapped off onto this Pharah.
Sombra's greatest weakness. People in the air. Can't do much about it. You can obviously attack away, but the EMP's not that tall. Louis comes in for the back, takes on Carpe. EMP has gone down, and Sinatra takes down Shadowburn. So a nice little kill, yes, but it's going to be a Tracer who can get back to point extremely quickly.
Yeah, Fact Fiction getting the D-Mech onto Midnight, and Spree comes in for the follow-up. Sinatra drops low, and the cleave damage comes in for Fact Fiction. Takes him out. Selfless sent back to their spawn.
And he's still going to be playing in the cage, though, with that health pack there. He's got his own heal, and he has the heal from the HP, which really feeds Ruckus another EMP, which, if I'm not mistaken, Jamerson, what's his EMP status been for the last 3 fights?
He's had it every single fight. Sound barrier is used. And I'm surprised that Ruckus didn't go for it, but there we go. He uses it. That gets rid of the shields on about 4 members of Selfless. Fact Fiction with that was able to get the kill onto Dahak, and now they're pushing forward. Fact Fiction finds a second one, and Selfless just not able to find any ground here. We've even got, take a look at how far back Louis was with that whole hog.
I think he got booped in that direction. I want to guess he got booped in that direction. By the way, Ruckus, who just used EMP in the last 3 fights, the 3 out of 3, 100% EMP rate for this guy. It's up to 60% yet again. Doesn't have Louis there to feed off of, which is a little bit unfortunate, so he might not have it in the beginning of the fight. Give him like 20-30 seconds during the fight, and he'll have it up again.
This time, though, for the side of Selfless,
he's eating damage on purpose. Yep. That's disgusting. Yup. He's disgusting. He's just eating that on purpose to make sure Ruckus has EMP ready to go.
Yeah, he's at 91%. Sinatra just looking for a good target, but Louis on that flanking Roadhog, they're going to go ahead and commit that barrage onto him. And Zodahak will be the person who actually gets the credit for that kill, but in the meantime, Midnight goes down. EMP does not connect onto Sinatra or onto Michael. He's getting closer and closer to his resurrection, but he's getting focused down. He's got it at the ready. He doesn't see a good target there, but Sinatra has been connecting with these rockets.
He has, and he's able to eventually get the kill onto Ruckus, and the respawn's going to to be there. Sinatra's still doing some serious work here. He's still about half HP, but he kills Shadowbird. He kills Spree. He's killed so many people in that fight. Louis is able to get back here, yes, but the problem is he's kind of by himself. The two tanks, or at least one of the tanks, is going to be under him. He's going to have to regroup yet again, but Sinatra, another kill on the board. This man is not being stopped.
Yeah, it seems like he's faring better without a Mercy for some reason there, because after Michael died, that's when he just cleaned everyone up. Now we're about to go into overtime. The point got contested by Rockets shortly. Now we've got the rest of FaZe coming on in. Imam spotted out a few, but he's going to use that Primal Rage, try to boot them all back. But in the air is that D.Va getting focused down, Spree down to 50% HP. Carpe somehow survives that combo, but Fact Fiction won't land on him. There we go. The Tempo Res comes out. Carpe, he's got that tactical visor, but he has to be careful. Dropped down about half HP, but he's got the help of his Lucio there to keep him topped off. And with that, 2 kills go on over, and Selfless will keep this alive.
3 minutes left to go, and it looks like finally, basically in overtime there, they do finish that one off, but it was very, very rough. FaZe kind of put up a stalwart defense on that first point. Obviously helps when Ruckus has 3 EMPs in 3 fights. But you did see the mindset behind FaZe Clan. Fact Fiction eating Rockets on purpose, which, funny enough, became the downfall of Lou and Roadhog because that barrage was able to clean him up before he could really do much.
Now they've got another EMP. They've got the sound barrier and the self-destruct. Shadowburn coming up closer and closer to that pulse bomb. We haven't seen him come in huge like we have other tracers throughout this turn so far, but there's the EMP and it connects onto the majority of Selfless with that Spree. Gets a 2-man, just spots out Sinatra and Michael 3D way too high in the air. They weren't able to avoid it. Great play coming out from them.
Keep in mind, Midnight's actually on Tracer. Carpe is going to be on the Soldier, and Sinatra just switched from the Pharah over to the Genji. So some major flexibility within this side of Selfless. That Pulse Bomb actually going to be taken away. Midnight does switch away from the Tracer when he have that up, and Michael going to be switching over to the Zen. So I want to say a little bit more of a standard composition here for Selfless, but FaZe Clan still have a lot of ultimates to use here, and Shadowbird is just looking for the opportunity to use that Pulse Bomb.
Now the payload's starting to make headway, but it is getting contested now by Spree. Shadowburn gets spotted out, has to back out, uses that recall, and now he just kites away. At this point, FaZe just backing out, giving up a little ground here as Louis, he's on the McCree now. Hit scan player as they push forward with the sound barrier now. The D.Va mech brought low, but it's going to be Michael 3D that goes down first.
He gets the D-suit and he gets the headshot to Midnight, so initially 2 kills being picked up. FaZe Clan being forced back, Selfless being forced back for another time. Prime Rage going to be used to knock down Carpet to his death. So is Iman just going to jump off the point. So this is looking very bad here for Selfless. 40 seconds left to go. They have a good amount of ultimates to use here, but Louis, if Sinatra can't get the reflect, or Hack can't use the Cyber at the right time, or maybe Iman can't get in his face, we're looking at a pretty clean wipe here on the second point.
Yeah, Carpe, he's got that tactical visor. Last time he was able to pick up 2 with it. So we'll see if Spree can just get on top of him and make sure to try and mitigate that damage. Sinatra gets the pick up to Rockets. That's huge.
Now there's no chance. Rockets just had it up too. FaZe Clan going to be looking to crumble here. Sinatra picks himself up a double kill. That's going to be the visor being used out of Carpe, but doesn't seem to be doing too much damage because Sinatra's getting the kills himself. That's 3 now for this man, and the pay will continue to move. But the thing is, FaZe Clan, that's fine. They lost that fight, whatever. They didn't use ultimates in that fight. They were able to bank them, and this is going to make it that much harder for Selfless, who had to commit quite a few ultimates to get that point.
Thing is, though, even though Sinatra ended up picking up 3-4 kills there, he didn't use his Dragon Blade at all. That was just dash resets along with right clicks and left clicks there with the shurikens, and so he's gonna have it. And this is where it really does shine, when they're trying to funnel out from one entrance here. Now Sinatra, he's got the Dragon Blade, he's gonna go ahead and pop it, but there's the high noon! Excuse me, Louis, unfortunately only able to get it onto Carpe as Sinatra came in with a deflect. Now he tries to find more kills, but nothing coming of it quite yet. Now Sinatra just spotting out, the Zenyatta brings him low with the melee, takes him out, and Selfless might have just done it.
That reflect kill in the air was insane out of Sinatra. And Shadowbird, though, he's able to get the kill on Michael 3D. The self-destructs have gone absolutely nothing, but Fact Fiction has his Primal Rage. Once he gets to this point, he's going to be able to buy for a lot of time here. Spree gets that decent to Midnight. And Selfless, the respawns are very far away. They need to make sure to stop losing people, but they haven't lost that many. And this payload is going to continue to move.
I mean, we've known Selfless from time to time just be able to come in these clutch situations. I mean, almost every single one of their players, they're used to playing, you know, with a man down and just being able to fight back and scrap back into it. And so now they've got a minute and 15 seconds just to push it through here.
I mean, Selfless are used to like playing with a man down because he's flipping burgers. Like, they don't need that 6 men sometimes. And the Hack's gonna have that sound barrier to at least make them a little bit extra healthy. But the time is just not on the side of Selfless. A minute left to go. Sinatra has that blade, which he just used in that last fight. He's gonna go back in again, go directly to that back line. Gets almost a double kill there on both supports.
Yeah, and that is huge. Taking out both supports, there's no sustain for them as they're just trying to delay this point. Louis jumps on, he's trying to deflect, but yeah, that's a deflect, not a reflect. So he gets focused down by that Winston Emon cleaning him up.
Yeah, just see a quick replay of this with Sinatra going into the back line. Easy pickings for this man. He's able to take down both supports before they could get any of those ultimates off. But Joe Meister does have a sound barrier, so just Selfless, one good fight can close this out for them. So, as well as for FaZe, if they can just win this one fight, they can stop it from finishing and still have a good chance on the attack.
Yeah, Joe Meister had to use that sound barrier really quickly because he was dropped down about 20 HP, but here we go, Carpe, he's got that tactical visor, but Louis finds the kill onto Sinatra with his blade. Transcendence is going to get used on the side of Selfless, keeping them topped off. Midnight, though, with the self-destruct, comes in with a kill onto Fact Fiction, and now Shadowburn trying his best, and he won't get the kill onto Michael 3D, but will that be enough to try and stall this out? Payload still pushing forward now. It is going to be an overtime, 3 members on the point, but Emon coming in, cleans up Shadowburn.
Sinatra, he switched over the Bastion, so from long range, looks like he can do some decent damage, and there's no one really able to go directly at him. I think the Reflect is able to take him down to 100 HP, but the damage is still there, and he's still able to apply so much from the backside. Yeah, it's being mitigated for the most part by D.Va, but he's eliminating the pressure, and he's also controlling the amount of room that FaZe can work with.
Just a shooting gallery for Sinatra there at the end. Found the angle, was able to shoot underneath the payload, even though Spree was trying his best to just break LOS and stay out of his line of fire, but he got taken down at the knees, and so Selfless, with it was overtime pushes on every single point, were able to just brute force it in at the end there. Now it's going to be FaZe, their opportunity to attack. Now, Selfless, they're just one hold away from walking away and getting their first victory here in the group.
Or will they have a draw? Ooh. Only time will tell here. Both these teams have not been able to pick up a victory at all throughout the entire day, and both of them are striving for that victory, considering this is only the first half of the group stage round robin. Next week, every team's be playing each other yet again, but you need to be able to pick up as many victories as you possibly can on this first week, and for both these teams, this is definitely something that has to happen because this group is not easy at all. CLG, Selfless, Liquid, and FaZe Clan. Next week's not going to be any easier for you.
Well, at least you'll have that rest time, especially for a play like Carpe, which we haven't established where exactly they are, but I mean, still. He's starting to come alive, right? His 76 play looking better and better. They were doing a better job of making sure either the resource meter for the D.Va was gone or the mech was gone before he was able to just go out and get the damage down. Now, FaZe Clan, it looks like they're just going to go for that 2-2-2 composition once again. They got the Genji and Tracer along with the Winston and D.Va here. We'll see how successful they are with it. Selfless, though, they're not going to change up much either. Sinatra, of course, on the Tracer. Carpe, 76, the Hack, and Michael on the Lucio and Zenyatta. And then, of course, we've got the D.Va, Winston, once again.
All right, so yeah, it's pretty standard running Soldier on defense and have that range to play with. It looks like they want to go for an early contest here. Maybe surprising, maybe use Sinatra as the one to give them the vision and the information of where they're going. Obviously, Selfless don't want to let Halo get too far before they do go for that first contest, which they're doing right now. Oh, this is going to catch them off guard.
Yeah, this is just the Selfless composition, their tactics, right? They just contest and make sure you don't get any free meters. But now Sinatra in the back line, he gets taken out by Joe Meister, but he was able to trade away. And because he is that Tracer, he'll be able to blink back into the fight. So it's not the hugest loss for them as Carpe was able to find the frag onto Spree.
Most importantly though, Emon is staying alive at the front. Halo's only got 8 meters. It's about how tall I am, if I'm not mistaken. It feels like
8
that
meters,
next to you,
yeah.
Jamerson. Oh, it feels like next to you, Jamerson. I'm 8 meters tall.
I'll give you one tweet, and it just goes straight to your head, all the way up there.
Yeah, it takes a while to get there. Actually, my nose has the most of it. But they're forcing FaZe Clan back. They're still picking up 1 or 2 kills here or there. It's really preventing them from getting any progress. Emon is feeling very safe with the cover of the payload. He's also got the cover of Midnight to help him out. Cover of Night in his fight. That wasn't intentional. But FaZe Clan need to come up with a plan. They need something. Maybe an MFU, that mobile fighting unit, to happen here.
Mobile fighting unit, yeah. But you know what's not mobile? The payload right now, Selfless. They're just able to contest the entire time, and they haven't been able to push forward. The Transcendence does come out on the side of Selfless. There was the bomb. Sinatra wasn't able to quite connect with it, but he did get the D-mech onto Spree.
Promo Rage in this position too is so dangerous. He's gonna jump back in. He's looking for maybe a knockoff, but he doesn't need it. Trent Speed coming in a little bit too late, but being forced to use ultimates outside of your own spawn is never the right plan.
Shadowburn, he's got that Dragon Blade. There is no Transcendence, but he gets focused down Sinatra. How quickly is he picking up these kills? It doesn't look like there's any kind of lag in between the kill feed there. And so he's gonna pick up 3 by the end of that fight. Will it be a 4th?
Yes.
Yup. I can't let you yup if I do it first.
I messed it up. Next time. There'll be a next time potential here. Selfless just gonna back away because they lost quite a few people.
Was that the equivalent of like high-fiving myself?
Pretty much.
Damn.
Nerd.
Yo, high five.
So going into now the S-bend here. FaZe Clan's finally able to get some distance. 23 meters for themselves. Sinatra, another post bomb coming in. Not going to connect this time. But considering how many ultimates FaZe Clan had to extend to get this far, this is not a good sign.
Self-destruct comes out for Midnight. Won't connect this time. Louis getting forced off the ledge there. Actually won't even be able to fall to his death as Sinatra will be able to clean him up. Now Carpe, he's just focusing down this Winston who had used his Primal Rage. Fact Fiction down low to about 100 HP. Almost gets taken out. He will be able to make it back. Now they push forward on the side of Selfless with that Transcendence now is going to force them back. But here comes the self-destruct. Spree might catch someone out. It's going to be Emong. They were just way out of position.
Shadowburn in the back though, trying to go for that 1v1 against Michael, who does get the sound barrier. Just force him away from this. Discord's still going to be there. They know exactly where he is. And Michael is actually just not even throwing any orbs in his direction. But finally again, minute left to go. They're able to get some more distance. Not just going to come back in a contest. Just going to recall out, I would imagine, where Shadowburn's already waiting. And Rockus picks up the kill. 50 seconds to go. Shadowburn's going to have his blade, and he's going to push up for a better position.
Now, this is the full Selfless treatment that they've been doing to teams time and time again, right? Make sure they don't get meters for free at all. There's 40 seconds left. Selfless, they're going to have an opportunity to contest this payload once again as they come on over from the top side of Big Earls.
They don't have any ults though. That's going to be a big problem for them. The Transcendence on the Rockets is going to be huge unless he does get picked off. But Shadowburn, well, he doesn't need any friends. He doesn't need anyone to help him get these kills. He does secure 3. And it looks like FaZe Clan will be able to get this first checkpoint.
Yeah, Rock is just going to go ahead and use that safety Transcendence there just to make sure, you know, you don't want to leave anything up to chance at this point as you get that close to overtime. And they're still going to be able to, you know, have that safety net of Joe Meister's sound barrier.
They definitely have that. And luckily for them, they're not going to need it for a while because Selfless doesn't have the offensive ultimates. Carpe 37%, Sinatra 20. And Emong, I don't really count his ultimate as offensive, though we sure as hell seen him be able to make it offensive with the kills he's been able to get. Shadowburn, and this is what happens when you unleash him. That's what happens when he's just able to get that freedom on the Genji and not really be contested by too much.
Yeah, you feel the burn. We got from Shadowburn there now. FaZe Clan, they did get that extra 2 minutes added on to their clock. Louis dropped down low. He's going to be able to take a breather. He's got the whole hog at the ready. Great disengage tool for them. Gets the hook. The sound barrier is going to be used by FaZe.
They're going to use it to buy some extra time, but Fact Fiction is still very low in health. Louis as well. A little bit of he healed back up. Is actually going to go for the knockoff. Louis does get the ultimate off onto Emong to push him off the point. Fact Fiction picks himself up a double kill. And Selfless, after that initial first point hold, seem to be struggling to get any stagnation here, but they're constantly fighting on the payload. So they're denying a lot of distance for FaZe Clan.
This time, though, it was kind of like a junk rush for Selfless at that point, right? They were able to force out the whole hog. The Primal Rage was used along with that sound barrier. So now, going into this next fight, they have a huge ultimate advantage. They've got both support ultimates. They've got the Pulse Bomb, of course, on Sinatra, and that Tactical Visor.
The problem is it's going to take him more than one fight to actually close out this map here. Pulse Bomb has come in, didn't land. Nona's going to use his Transcendence, so he's forcing them back for now. And Carpe's going to be focused down. Fact Fiction gets the kill. I think I have to punch to the dome there to finish that one off. And Rockus chimes in to get Emong. This is looking so good for FaZe Clan considering they're at an ult deficit.
Yeah, and so with that, they are cleaning up one by one. 50 seconds left on the clock, but there shouldn't be any real opportunity for Selfless to try and contest this. Shadowburn once again with another Dragon Blade. That's going to be pretty useful on their initial push out once they get into the warehouse here. And looks like Louis just even spamming the hooks there, just making sure no one tries to go for that contest. Now, are we seeing anything different coming out from Selfless? No, they're just going to stick with this composition.
Oh, they're going behind him.
Oh.
They're actually on the payload already, so they're not going to allow that payload to push at all. They have the high ground position. It's a second FaZe fight all over again. I hope it doesn't turn out the same way here for Selfless, but there we go. That's the first one coming on to Emong.
Yeah, self-destruct was used by Spree, and that's going to connect onto Sinatra. But once again, it's just how Selfless played, right? Just burn down that clock as much as possible. Shadowburn gets the kill onto Dahak. Now with D.Va going down, they'll finally be able to start making some headway here. And so already, they burned off some valuable time. Remember, it's pretty difficult to try and push it through this last portion of Route 66. They've got a minute and 18 seconds left. Midnight does have that self-destruct, but not much else behind it, as Emong does have that Primal Rage. But it was Fact Fiction that had to use his. He was a little bit overextended. Will be able to make it back to the payload, but now Orb of Discord is on Emong, but with a deflect, Louis not able to chase him down.
Not able to do any damage there. The Transcendence being popped to the Rockets to allow them to get a little bit more distance, or at least push up a little more safety. Fact Fiction's going to fall to the Self-Destruct out of Midnight. Not sure how that happened, but with that kill coming through from Selfless, they smell the blood in the water, and they're going to pounce.
Now take a look at this. It's coming down to possibly the final fight here. There's only 40 seconds left for FaZe, Jason. And they have two really strong offensive ultimates almost at the ready, right? Carpe, of course, he's got the tactical visor. Sinatra is just at 87%, so he was able to get that deflect. He's getting closer to that Dragon Blade, and there's maybe Joe Meister gets a sound barrier for that.
That's going to be a little bit rough, though. I think it's a Selfless forced to fight now. They're going to get a clean wipe, and then there's going to be a big stagger onto the payload. But Fact Fiction trying to get some more progress while waiting for his teammates to push up. But there's the blade coming through.
Yeah,
Sinatra with the sound barrier is getting the extra HP, and he's looking for the kills.
Yeah, he got the first one onto Rockets. Now he's hunting down Louis. Louis was able to pick up the health pack, finds the headshot onto Sinatra, evening it out. Now it's going to be Shadowburn. He's got his sound barrier. He's got his blade, but he hasn't been able to get onto a target. Transcendence comes out from Selfless. Now they're still trying to contest the point. It is in overtime to Hack. Gets the kill onto Fact Fiction.
Carpe with the visor going. He's actually not getting mitigated too much, but finally that's going to be the defense reaches out a spree to stop his damage. Shadowburn gets a kill. Midnight gets desuited. Louis going to follow. Sinatra just chases him away, and he's looking into the background. He's looking for that kill to Rockets. He gets it right as a Transcendence had come online. Rockets was at 100% ultimate, but he couldn't hit Q quick enough. Sinatra's such a clutch play, and he's going to be able to escape for now.
All right, Spree tried to use that self-destruct, got back into his mech, but already he's at 75% HP. They're hunting down this Lucio Dahag, surviving for now, and Carpe comes in to clean up Shadowburn. The defense trying their best to stall this out. Spree dropped low because there's no support there. Now they are going to go ahead and get the D-Mech. Here's the self-destruct coming up for Midnight, and it connects onto Spree.
This is not looking good. I mean, the Fact Fiction had his ulti, but he didn't get off in time. Shadowburn's going to have his blade, but he's just not there. A little bit of a Cloud9 being pulled there here for FaZe Clan, and Selfless for the first time today will pick up a victory into their group. I never thought I'd be saying that, picking up finally a victory in the group, but they did it in the last match of the day.
And I mean, that's,
Sorry,
you know, just
I thought you were
how...
going for a yup moment there.
Yep.
Yep. All right, but I mean, that's the strength of Selfless's style, right? We saw every single...
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, Joe Meister went off. He's gonna have like 3 right clicks in a row.
Is that the boop of the week?
It might just be because he gets another one.
Well, not there in the play of the game at least.
Oh.
Maybe it's a long range kill onto one of them. Either way, yeah, that was some interesting games actually. A little bit surprised.
It was interesting and surprising for sure. We even have some new terminology actually coming out of this one in the way of an interesting acronym that I actually didn't know about before this one, but we'll just move straight past that.
What was that? I don't remember.
The old MFU, come on. Yeah.
Mobile Fighting Unit.
Mobile Fighting Unit.
Mobile Fighting
We actually
Unit.
saw the SFU as well. The Stationary Fighting Unit wasn't nearly as effective, however.
But was the SFU as good of a FU as the MFU?
No.
Okay.
That the MFU was the best FU for sure. I mean, it's hard.